All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Hit the Books, Season 5, Episode 7. Already in Week 7 in the NFL. Me and Ace this week on the pod. No Mackie, no Jesse. We're going to get into a good NFL slate, but we'll start things off with how we're doing this week. A good week in sports. A lot going on with the NHL, MLB Playoffs with the championship series going on, football. How are we feeling?
Yeah, feeling good going into another week here. My Patriots stacking up another win here. Drake May getting a lot more believers on the hype train, so that's great to see. My Boston Bruins started off the year rattling off 3 straight wins. Always love to hear that. Getting some good news out of the Boston Celtics front. Some tough breaks for my dynasty basketball team with John Morant and LeBron James starting off week to week. So I just traded for them in the offseason. So that was a little bitter strike for me. But yeah, MLB season's rolling along. We got the Dodgers looking to go back to back right now. They're really rolling through this whole playoffs as we fully expected. And yeah, some college football and some other stuff going on as well. So I'm ready to talk another week here.
Yeah, we're going to get right into the NFL slate. We have a good slate this week. Before we do that, our power rankings going into Week 7 with the Indianapolis Colts coming in at 5, the Detroit Lions at 4, the Kansas City Chiefs at 3, the Green Bay Packers at 2, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers making their debut at our number 1 spot. What do you think of this list this week? I know Mackie had a little bit differing, but me and you were pretty spot on the teams we thought that should be in this order.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think everybody throughout the league right now is recognizing what Baker Mayfield's doing. We got to put those Bucks there for that reason, and they're not even fully healthy. I think one thing to shout out the Huff is that you and I both respect the Kansas City Chiefs still, and I think it's rightfully so. Teams like the Eagles and the Bills are downtrodden right now. Look at who the Bills have beaten. They've combined for 2 wins on the season. The teams they've actually gotten a W against. Meanwhile, the Eagles, they're reeling right now. They can't figure things out on offense. Got to look to the teams like Patrick Mahomes that have righted the ship. They're getting Rashee Rice back. And like
I'd still go as far as to say the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC.
I think they could even be the best team in the NFL. I know that the Bucks are playing that way to be in our 1 spot right now, but who do you really not want to see on your schedule? And the scariest thing I think is the way that Patrick Mahomes is playing hero ball, and he's the MVP, and the team's starting to come together around him.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can get into some of these games that we saw last week. Obviously, they got a big win. We'll start there against Detroit. That was on
Crazy Sunday night game.
Sunday Night Football. That was a great game. They ended up winning 30-17 there. A couple other games that we'll touch on. Like you said, your Patriots winning in New Orleans 25-19. My Steelers picking up another win, their first divisional win of the year against Cleveland. And then Mackey's Cowboys falling in Carolina to the
Crazy.
Carolina Panthers in a shootout. Cowboys are just
Panthers sitting at 500 now, and they're 3-0 at home. How crazy is that?
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
Rico Dowdle backed his talk, too. He said they didn't buckle up their chin straps. They weren't ready, and it's no discredit to Dak Prescott. He's playing almost MVP-level football, but that defense can't stop anything.
No. And then, obviously, Monday Night Football, we saw the Bills fall to Atlanta, and then Chicago get a win on the road in D.C., in their revenge game over the Hail Mary rematch from last year. But we have a great slate this week coming into Week 7. We're going to start things out for Thursday Night Football with another divisional matchup involving my Pittsburgh Steelers going to Cincinnati to take on Joe Flacco. Almost said Joe Burrow.
You don't want to say the other name. How happy are you that you're not saying Joe Burrow?
I'm glad it's not Joe Burrow. The spread would be a lot different as well. To take on Joe Flacco and the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are getting 5.5 points at home. Over-under is at 44. Bengals to win this game plus 200. Steelers minus 250. The Cam Hayward dubbed this game the Icy Hot Bowl. It's the second time that two 40-year-old quarterbacks have matched up. Obviously, the previous one was Brady and Breeze, and they did it 3 times in the same year. So yeah, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco, I think they're 41 and 42, or I forget how old Flacco is.
Great to see though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool to see, but yeah, definitely for this spot for the Steelers, Tomlin is not good on the road on Thursday Night Football. I saw he's 0-6 in his last 6 divisional matchups on the road on Thursday night. So don't love that stat coming into this one, but I do think the Steelers will be able to handle business. The Bengals don't look good with Flacco. I know they've kind of put up a little bit of a fight with Jamar Chase in that game against Green Bay the week before, showing some kind of promise. But I think on a short week in a divisional matchup and, in the prime time, the Steelers will come to play. 5.5 points is always a weird spread for
Weird
my
number.
boys. I think it just will fall in that, but I said the same thing last week against the Browns, and I should have taken it. But I lean on the Steelers to get a win here. I don't love the 5.5. You probably won't see it on my card. If you do, I might
I like
tease
that
it down a
minus
little bit.
170 leg almost. Yeah, or
Yeah.
tease opportunity. The Browns taking on your Steelers last week. It kind of nice you didn't take that spread though, even though it did end up hitting. You would have been holding your breath at the end when
Well,
uh
the
you,
first half was a field goal fest. I was like, this
and
is going exactly how I thought it was going.
And then Dylan Gabriel is doinking passes off of Isaiah Bond's helmet right on
Yeah.
the goal line too. But an interesting matchup. Normally we think AFC North Thursday night football, it's going to be an under game. But a Steelers defense, it's tightened up as of late, but they've been pretty leaky this year. And we know how bad that Bengals defense can be. Yeah, they're getting some pass rush help this year, which is nice to see. But like you said, it's Rodgers and Flacco going at it now. Very different matchup than we expected coming into the year. Aaron Rodgers playing as the top quarterback in that division right now. One thing I'd really like to see out of your Steelers this week is hopefully they can get Jalen Warren going again. Before that injury, he was dominant, one of the better running backs, receiving backs in the league. Since then, he's been a little slow to get going. It seems like Gainwell might be the better option out of the backfield, especially in the passing game. Your boy DK Metcalf has
I was
absolutely
gonna
been
say, I
lighting it up.
expect him to have another huge week against this
Monster
Bengals
game.
defense.
There's nobody on that team that can cover him. He's too
No.
big, too fast, too strong, and Aaron Rodgers looks his way very often. And with those receiving backs and Metcalf, you don't really need much else. I would like to see your Steelers bring in another receiving option at the deadline. Doesn't
I
even need
still
to be a
think they
marquee.
will.
Doesn't need to be a marquee one either. You can go get anybody, just somebody else to catch passes from Aaron Rodgers because we know he can dish it around the field. So you got to find another threat. Boswell's leg will be strong once again. I know he missed a 50-plus yarder last week, but I think he slipped on that one. So we'll
Yeah, he
give him
did
a
flip.
we'll give him a pass
The
on that one.
turf people, both teams are complaining about the turf the whole time.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the Cincinnati side of the ball, Joe Flacco, he got Jamar Chase going, and Jamar Chase is going to do Jamar Chase things regardless of who's at quarterback. It's kind of crazy with that coaching situation, that quarterback situation. He's still top 5 in the league in receiving. We saw him go over 100 last week. Mackey hit him on that ladder play to get some nice units in that touchdown, too. So expect him to stay heavily involved. T. Higgins as well. He's targeting both early and often. But I kind of think I could see an overspot. It's weird to say for an AFC North game. It's weird to say for a Thursday night football game. Short week
Brewers have
where
been scoring
Flacco.
points. The offense looks good too. They're putting up points. It's
That's what I'm
totally
saying.
different story than last year when the defense was keeping them in the games and they were winning games like 13-10 and 17-14. This year, it's like, our one loss this year, I think, was to the Seahawks, and it was 31 to. It got a little crazy when Walker scored that last minute touchdown, but I think
Yeah, both
it was
teams
week
were
2
over
to
4
Seattle. I think
touchdowns.
it was 32 or 31. Or is it 31-17? So I guess that wasn't a great.
Yeah, well, with that late touchdown too, that
Yeah,
your return
it
it
was
cost you.
24-17. It was a one possession game.
Yeah,
He
but
stayed
that
with like a minute left.
in that weird kickoff play that Caleb
Don't
Johnson
even
had as well.
remind me of that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
cost the game.
Hey, it's Thursday night football. We could see something weird like that happen on either team, maybe a return or a defensive big play. But I think both guys are going to put up some decent stats here. I look for Jamar Chase and DK Metcalf both to have massive games. Farm up in fantasy, maybe you take the two of them in a nice parlay for half a unit. You get those 2 star receivers to find the end zone. But I think we're going to see some more fireworks than we expect between these two teams, which hasn't been likely. But your Tomlin Thursday night stat and the Bengals, second place in that division, looking to kind of keep pace, I guess, until Joe Burrow's eventually
Steelers can
back.
take a stranglehold on the division if they get this win.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I know that people counting out the Ravens. They do have that light schedule.
I'm not counting out the Ravens. I went through the
Yeah.
Ravens schedule the other day. I still think they finished with 9 wins.
Yeah, they played a slaughterhouse to start the year, and they were all hurt. They get a bye next week, too. So even if they lose, or no, they're on the bye this week, I should
This
say.
week.
Yeah, so once they get through this bye, hopefully they get all their pieces back. So it makes it a little bit more interesting in that division because so
They
far
have
it's
like
been a
Chicago,
cakewalk.
then Miami, then the Jets or someone like
Yeah,
they have like a
I think
stretch like that.
they had the Browns again. I think they still play you guys twice.
Yeah,
They
we
still
still
play the
play them twice.
Bengals twice. So
They do
there's a
still have
lot.
some tough matchups. They still play the NFC North like we do, but they already like Steelers still have to play Detroit. The Steelers and Ravens both got tough schedules this year, but Steelers is more backloaded. The Ravens is more kind of split up. Like they have some coming up, but they do have like 3 straight weeks of like they could win all 3 of those, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, if they can get healthy, they can make
They
it
got to get Lamar
interesting.
back.
But a division that's normally so feisty, it's kind of boring so far this year. I mean, it's nice for you guys out in Steelerland having that nice hold on division with the lead you're at 5-1, but 5-1 team against a Joe Flacco led Bengals offense.
4-1.
4-1. I'm surprised it's only a 5.5 point spread, but this will be a pretty good game on Thursday Night Football between these two.
Yeah. Then we move to Sunday where we have our another London game. I feel like just every week is an international game at this point. The Rams and Jaguars facing off at Wembley Stadium in London. Like I said, Jaguars getting 3 points over under 44.5. Jags plus 130. Rams minus 155 across the pond in London. I kind of lean on the Jaguars here.
Me
Rams.
too. It's like a home game for the Jaguars.
That's
How
what I
often
mean.
are they playing over there?
They play well over there. They always have, and they play over there a lot. Trevor Lawrence kind of knows what to expect. Not saying, any discount to Stafford. He's a Hall of Famer, but no Nakua. I
That's
like this
massive.
Rams team, but they've disappointed in certain spots this year. I could see them let one up here. I'm going to take the Jags plus the 3 points.
I think this is going to be a tight game. I know that there's offensive firepower on both sides. Brian Thomas Jr. starting to come into his own a little bit. Travis Hunter give us some highlight reels. And Liam Cohen's got that run game going with a career year for Travis Etienne.
Liam Cohen saying Travis Hunter is going to be featured a lot in this game.
I feel like it's got to be coming at some point. We've seen glimpses of him starting to take off, and they're really desperate for another playmaker in that offense. I think that he should be getting more looks, more targets, because he can turn it into big plays. It's coming sooner rather than later. A lot of these rookies,
he's going to be a focal point this week.
we're closer to that halfway point of the season. These rookies start to take off. The guys that have been quiet early on. But yeah, that defense for the Jaguars has been playing very strongly too, and that's why they're my AFC South favorite to go on. They've won some big games. They've beaten the Chiefs. They kept one close, and they ended up beating the Niners too. So a couple of good wins for the resume. Meanwhile, on the other side, that Rams team, even though they don't have Nakua, Sean McVay will have his offense ready to go. You still have Kyron Williams, one of the best backs in the league, a good secondary fiddle with Blake Corum as well. And Devontae Adams, let's not forget, they have a true wide receiver one without the best receiver in the league this year in Puka Nacua. So they still have their receiving threats. Jordan Whittington will probably step up a little bit, but I expect a lower scoring game here in London. And I think the Jaguars do come out on top as well. I'll take that 3-point spread. And I think they cover here and show the league that they're really here and for real this year.
Yeah. First 1:00 game on the slate on Sunday. Divisional matchup in the AFC West with Vegas heading to Kansas City.
Blowout.
Kansas City, laying 12 points at home. Like I said, Kansas City minus 12, over under 45.5. Chiefs money line minus 750. Raiders plus 525. I mean, this is just, I think it's a Chiefs blowout. I don't have much to say about this.
Rashee Rice is back. I think that's the big thing to say. And Mahomes has been doing it without him. He's gotten Worthy involved. We saw Hollywood Brown and Juju getting involved, even with that late game scuffle against Brian Branch last week. I think that'll cut into Travis Kelce's share, who started to come on a little bit, but look for an explosive game from Rashee Rice. They said they're going to target him early and often. So I expect a big day there. Mahomes has been doing it with his feet too. He keeps finding the end zone. I think that running game will eventually get on track with Pacheco. If not, maybe they go and get another running back. Is it Breece Hall? Is it anybody else to bolster that running back room? I'd like to see that, but Spagnuolo has the defense fired up and playing well as we expect. Chris Jones and the likes of those guys, always sending those heavy exotic blitz packages, and that's going to be tough for Geno Smith, who's leading the league in interceptions. I believe he seems to be throwing multiple every week. I know Ashton Genty's looked a lot better, but he doesn't have much room to run, especially against this defense. They know how to contain someone like that, and even if Brock Bowers is a go, I don't think that's enough for Geno Smith to put up enough points to compete with the Chiefs here. I expect a blowout, as we expect the Chiefs to get above 500 here this week.
Yeah, I agree. Next game, a couple of these games aren't super great. Saints at Bears.
Interesting.
Bears minus 5 at home, over under 47. Bears minus 235. Saints plus 195. Spencer Rattler's been playing some decent football for them. I'm not saying the Saints are good, but they do have some guys still
They're
down
feisty.
there. Olave, Kamara. Yeah, This is a game I'm going to stay away from. I would lean on the Bears minus 5, but I wouldn't be shocked to see the Bears fuck this up and let the Saints cover.
Yeah, I could see the Saints cover here, especially if you tease him. But then again, Ben Johnson, he might break out his stops here. That Saints defense is very, very weak, especially against the pass. Drake May exposed them last week, and they do have some good weapons that they can target. Luther Burden coming alongside Romeo Dunze and DJ Moore. We know Swift is pretty solid in that backfield as well. A couple of tight ends that are some marquee names. Also on the Chicago side, expect some trick plays this week. This is where you can kind of open up the bag and test some new things. But like you said, the Saints, they've been playing teams feisty. They played a close one against the Patriots last week, a close one against the Bills the week before. They grabbed a win here, somewhere in that mix against the Giants, who have turned into a solid team with Jackson Dart at the helm. And Taysom Hill's back in the mix too, so don't be surprised if he finds the end zone. His first game last week, or first or second, he found the end zone on the goal line there. So kind of a weird spot, but still got Kamara, still got Kendra Miller, who they're getting involved a bit more. Expect Rattler to keep it close, but I've got the Bears winning this one.
Yeah. Next game, probably the worst game of the weekend. Dolphins Browns. 1-5 versus 1-5. Browns are the favorite. 2.5 points.
Crazy.
Over under 40. Browns money line -140. Dolphins +118. Could we see Shedeur in this game?
I don't think so. I think we could see a Dylan Gabriel win here. This would be his first win as a pro, I believe, right? And the other thing is too, if Dolphins do end up losing this game, is this the last one for Mike McDaniel? We've been saying it for a while now. I think it's coming.
Yeah, I would think so.
After they've blown 2 late leads back-to-back weeks, they had that game against the Chargers last week. Brutal, costly errors leading to that demise late in the game. The week before, I can't believe they let that one slip up too. So these Dolphins, I don't know. I know they can get stuff going on offense, and that's actually a good matchup to look at in this one, is that stellar Browns defense. Even against your Steelers last week, they put up a solid fight, but all year long, they've been a tough unit to go against, and the Dolphins can get the ball going. That's what McDaniel thrives in, is the offensive side of the football. I think whenever he does get canned from this Miami job, he'll find a job running someone's offense, and it's rightfully so. I think he's better at that than he is as a head coach. But guys like A-Chain have been going off. What about Darren Waller? That guy just scores a touchdown every week, it seems. Nice little resurgence there. And then some of their weapons on the outside without Tyreek Hill. I know they still have Waddle, but nothing too worrisome. So it's going to be a big A-Chain game, going to be a big Darren Waller game. But that defensive front, look for Myles Garrett to be after Tua Tagovailoa all day long. Some of those young guys, I believe it's Graham they brought in as well, on that D-line. They're disruptive. I mean, it's so tough. I can't imagine Tua having too much success this week. I'll take the Browns in this one. I think they do cover. It's crazy to see him as a favorite, though, huh?
Yeah, it's weird. I can't bet this.
What about Judkins? You think he's gets
good.
going? He should find the end zone this week, I believe.
Yeah, I would say if I had to give you a pick out of this one, it would probably be like an A-Chan or a Judkins touchdown.
And that Dolphins defense has been so susceptible of run gains. They're one of the weakest units in the league, one of the worst teams in the league for that reason. So look for Judkins to have 100+ and a touchdown. Big day for him. Dylan Gabriel's first win in a stinker match with two teams trying to grab their second win.
Yeah. 3 more 1:00 games to get into. The first of those is your Patriots heading to Tennessee. Mike Vrabel's homecoming to his former head coaching job. Patriots are -7 on the road, over under 42. Pats money line -325. Titans at home +260. How do we feel heading into Nashville this weekend?
Oh, love this matchup. I mean, we just keep getting fed some good ones. We had the second easiest schedule in the league for a reason. We're sitting at 4-2 atop the AFC East with a big win over the Bills. Nice one over the Saints last week. Now we get one of the worst teams in the league in the Tennessee Titans, who just fired their head coach too. So that team's in complete turmoil. Calvin Ridley's banged up, might not even play in this one. So they'd be looking at guys like Eli Guyomanoir. I think Tyler Lockett as well. Whoever it is catching passes doesn't worry me too much. Christian Gonzalez will shut him down. Tony Pollard kind of losing his job to Tyjae Spears as well. That's another interesting story to watch. I think Cam Ward does play well, but they're not going to have an answer for the Patriots offense this week. Drake May's firing on all cylinders. He's playing very confident with Josh McDaniels calling the plays. They're getting all the receivers involved. Stephon Diggs seems to be a great pickup that they got for cheap. They didn't have to give up any assets and trades for guys like Cooper Kupp or Brandon Ayuk or Olave or people they were looking at. Diggs taking over that alpha role, and we got guys like Pop Douglas and Kayshon Boutte, however you say it, coming out of LSU, who was once dubbed to be a star in this league, is really starting to turn it up. 2 nice touchdown catches last week. And Ramondre and Travion Henderson, although their numbers aren't too strong, I think they get going this week. I look for the Patriots to put up over 30 points this week and hold that Titans team to a low score. The way our defense has been playing too, Christian Barmore and Milton Williams, the guys they brought on that D-line, Robert Spillane too, helping out. They've been very disruptive, yet to allow a 50-yard rusher, I believe, even on the season. So if they can't get the run game going, it's going to be all Cam Ward, and he's going to be under duress all day. I like my Patriots a lot in this spot.
Does it bother you at all that this is a coach-fired game?
Not too much. I like the fact that it's our head coach Vrabel going back to show them what
there's like
missing.
A double narrative. You can outplay that narrative. I get that. I think the Patriots do win the game. I don't love laying 7 points at home or on the road, but if I had to lean aside here, I'd say Patriots -7.
I just don't see how the Titans can do anything to stop the offense or put
my
up points on them.
My system is the coach is getting fired, and this is the spot. But especially at home, getting 7 points, it's like I could totally talk myself into this, but I think the Vrabel thing he's going to try to kill Tennessee.
A little double negative there.
Yeah, he's going to try to kill them.
What do you think about Drake May? Is he ascending? Could he be the top quarterback from his draft class? Loaded draft class. Penix playing well. JJ showed us
Yeah,
something.
I would
Caleb
say
and
it's him and
Jaden
Dan.
Turner.
It's definitely him and Jaden.
What a draft class that was. But yeah, Drake May keeps ascending. 23 years old. Happy with the stuff we're seeing so far from him.
Yeah, we'll move into another 1:00 game here. Philly at Minnesota. The
Good
Eagles are
game.
-2. Over under 43.5. Eagles -130 on the road. Vikings +110 at home. I'm going to lead on the Eagles here. I don't think they lose 3 straight. I'm going to take them on the money line minus the 130. I know this is a tough spot, but the Vikings don't really know what they're doing at quarterback going into this game. I think the Eagles, this is not a get-right spot because the Vikings are a good team, but a lot of question marks going around. They've had a lot of injuries as well up there in Minnesota. I don't know why the fuck I can't say that. But give me the Eagles on the road here. I think they'll handle business, get back in the win column, and get to 5-2.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that this Eagles team that was once unbeaten and coming off of a Super Bowl win is now staring at 3 straight losses with a tough opponent in the Minnesota Vikings, coached well. And they have a very strong defense too, which is a tough matchup because the offensive coordinator that Philadelphia brought in this year has not been successful so far. They can't get A.J. Brown going. Devontae Smith is an afterthought. Saquon Barkley not looking like his true self. Not too many big yards like we saw last year. So hopefully they can figure out how to get going, but I don't know if this is the week. I expect an under on this game here. 2 very strong defenses. I know there's superstars on both sides of the ball for offense, but I just don't see a lot of points happening here. I'll take the Eagles and the under. I don't think they lose 3 in a row, but I would not be shocked if the Vikings can somehow eke out this win here. Definitely not touching this game. This will be a hard-fought one. This will be one of those ones at the end of the 1 o'clock hour where I think the last possession is going to win it for you.
Yeah, I agree. Last 1:00 game on the slate. Carolina at the Jets. Jets are a 1.5 point dog at home. Over under 42.5. Jets +105 on the money line. Panthers -125. You want to start us out here?
Yeah, I mean, this Panthers team, like we said, they're 3-0 at home, 0-3 on the road. Here they are on the road again, but they're also playing a winless team in the New York Jets. It's like the unstoppable force against the immovable object. Which
Yeah.
one's going to break first? I really don't know. But with Rico Dowdle toting the rock, I mean, that guy's a complete superstar, right? He's really taking over that job, even with Chuba injured. I think when he comes back, I think Rico's going to keep it going if he can keep those legs moving. Meanwhile, the Jets look like sellers. Justin Fields has no time in the pocket. Do they move Breece Hall? Garrett Wilson getting frustrated as well. Aaron Glenn was supposed to be brought in as a defensive mastermind, and that defense has gotten much worse with a lot of skill on that side of the ball, which is crazy to me. But if there was ever a time for Justin Fields to kind of get right and get some offense moving after his sub 100-yard performance last week, where his net passing yards after all the sacks was negative, I think it could be against the Panthers-led defense. On the road, they've been very bad. They've been giving up a ton of points left and right, but they might be able to score enough against that Jets defense to get it done. I'm going to take the Panthers here. I think the Jets do stay winless. Not my favorite take of the week, but I think that Bryce Young with Torrey McMillan, who looks like an absolute star at receiver, along with Rico Dowdle, will be just enough to get the job done against this weak Jets team.
I agree. I think this will be another Panthers win here. I'm not big on this Jets team.
4-3 Panthers?
Yeah.
Were we right about Bryce Young?
Maybe we were, because I jumped off them a few weeks ago after I think they got killed by, I can't remember who it was, or early on in the season,
Patriots?
week 1 or 2, maybe it was, but yeah, I'm not going to take the Jets here. Give me the Panthers on the road on the money line -125.
What about McMillan, though, and Dowdle? Which one's more surprising? Probably Dowdle, right?
Dowdle.
Because McMillan was supposed to be that guy.
Chuba's good. They now may have one of the best running back duos in the league.
Yeah, it's nice to see, especially Dowdle coming out of Dallas was kind of written off.
Definitely take like Gibbs, role. Montgomery, but like they're in that conversation with like top 5 running back duos now.
Yeah, I think they're approaching it sooner rather than later, especially if we keep seeing performances like this from Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, if Dowdle does that again this week against this bad Jets defense, you'll definitely be hearing that. But
what do you have? 2 straight games with 200+ yards and a touchdown to boot in each.
Yeah,
crazy to see.
Yeah, 4:00. We move to 4:05 games to 4:25. And then obviously Sunday night football. So we're going to start in Denver with the Giants going to the Broncos. Over under for this game is at 40. Broncos are laying 7 points. And the Broncos money line -325. Giants +260 on the road. I'm going to lean on the Broncos here minus the 7 points. tough spot, but I think the better defense at home in a tough environment gets it done. J.K. Dobbins has been very good for this Broncos offense. Bo Nix looks like he's starting to find that swagger. I know they didn't have a good week in London last week. That's tough for any team that across the pond bullshit. But I'm gonna go with Denver here. I know it's a lot of points to lay at home, but I like Denver here. I don't think they get the. I love Scatterbo and Dart, but I don't think they're in this game at 7 points. I'm gonna take the Broncos.
Wow, that's crazy to say after the Giants coming off of a massive win last week in the primetime over the Philadelphia Eagles. Jackson Dart breathing life back into that offense and saving Brian Dable's job for the time being. Scatterbo looking like a true running back one as well. That duo has got Giants fans excited. Wan'Dale Robinson's a nice threat on the outside too, and Theo Johnson's doing his job at the tight end position. Meanwhile, that defense is going to be giving Bo Nix troubles. He hasn't looked like himself this year. I kind of expected a downturn from the Denver Broncos, but I didn't expect it to be this much. Barely squeaking by against the Jets. They should have lost that game, but maybe we should have known that with the last few appearances between the Jets and Broncos, looking at those crazy low scorigami type games. I think it was 13-11 last week. That's crazy to see. But that offense for the Broncos, he's going to be under pressure all day. Look at the pass rushers they have. Abdul Carter, Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns against Bo Nix. I don't know. I think 7 points is too much here. Dart, with the way that he runs the ball and he's able to get the passing game going, too explosive. I like the Giants on the money line this week. I think we see an upset up there in Denver. Tough place to play, though. Very tough place to play, but I can see them do enough and Bo Nix not be able to put up enough points this week.
Interesting.
I think that's going to be a better game than we think. That's going to be a tight one throughout.
Yeah. Our next 4:05 game, Indianapolis 5-1, the 1 seed in the AFC, going to the LA Chargers or
Great
the
game.
4-2 Chargers. 5-1 Colts, 4-2 Chargers. Chargers are the favorite here, -1.5, over under 48.5. Chargers -130 on the money line. Colts +110. What do you think here?
Oh, I think this is such a tough spot. I keep leaning back and forth on both sides.
That's exactly how I feel.
Daniel Jones has them looking like the best team in the league, but I think you're probably in the same thought process as me. Can we fully believe this? I know that they've won
I
5.
believe it. I told you what I thought about the Colts could be in that spot at the end of the year, in that picture with the wild card, like in the hunt, in that picture, make the playoffs. But this is a tough spot because the Chargers, we don't know what their running game is going to look like. Vidal did what he did last week. He looked good. Is he going to be able to replicate that against a pretty good Colts run defense? I don't know. Jonathan Taylor's been very good this year. Tyler Warren's
unstoppable.
Tyler Warren looks like the best tight end in the NFL. I'll say that right now.
He's in the end zone every week.
And he's getting 8 catches. He's just consistent. He's been amazing in fantasy. He's been an absolute hell of a pickup. I drafted Bowers and him. Bowers has been an absolute bust, but Tyler Warren's made up for that. I might take a Tyler Warren touchdown here. Daniel Jones, I think he gets in on the ground. I think this will be a high-scoring game, over 48.5 as well.
Yeah, the Daniel Jones one, that's a tough one, but he does find the end zone more often than not. And Jonathan Taylor looks like one of the best running backs in the league. It's nice to see him healthy. And they have a plethora of receivers for Jones to throw to as well, whether it be Pittman or Doolin or whoever it is.
Pierce.
I don't know if you saw last week, I think they had Ashton Doolin rushing the passer off the edge. They put him in as a cornerback blitz. He was getting through with that speed. So an interesting development down there in Indianapolis, using some speedsters to get through. Maybe we see other people start trying that too, to dial up the pressure off the outside. Too quick for those linemen to get over. But that defense for the Chargers has played very well too, especially in the red zone. So that's what makes me weary about any touchdown scores for the Colts. Even though it looks like it should be an over game on paper, I think it's going to be closer to the vest. Two very strong teams so far in the season with a very pivotal game, especially these two looking to either win their division or be in the wild card race. They could be in the same predicament come the end of the year. And Justin Herbert, he's just getting the job going. I mean, Quentin Johnston's had a great year. Keenan Allen's had a nice resurgence coming back home. And Ladd McConkey's really starting to get going too. Like you said, the running back room is a question mark for those Chargers, which is worrisome for me. But with Harbaugh and Roman running the show, I think they're able to get the win this week. I like the Chargers here. They do have the better quarterback. I know Daniel Jones is like a big comeback favorite for everybody, but I think Justin Herbert is still that guy, especially when fully healthy. But I do think they explore the trade realm before that deadline, early November. Maybe it's for another pass rusher with Khalil Mack out. Maybe it's for a running back. Obviously, we see all the injuries there. I don't know when Hampton does come back, but if Vidal is able to give them enough juice here this week, maybe they ride him out too. So we'll see. This will be an interesting one. Going to be tight throughout, but I like the Chargers here to get to 5-2 and hand the Colts a hard-fought loss in a tight game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I lean on Indy, but that's a tough spot. I agree. NFC East matchup coming here at 4:30 with the Commanders going to Jerry's World to take on Mackey's Cowboys, and the Cowboys are dogs at home, getting 2 points over under 55. Cowboys money line plus 110. Commanders minus 130. Who do you like in this NFC East matchup?
Maybe I like these Cowboys too much. I have them on the card more than anybody. I think they're better than they actually have played so far. They've beaten some good teams. They played tight in some games. They've lost some tough games as well. But the way that Dak Prescott playing is making me very confident. George Pickens looks like a true wide receiver one in CeeDee Lamb's absence, and he's proving it with all the targets he's getting. Jake Ferguson, another tight end that's really blossoming this year and turning into a great threat, especially with the connection he has with Dak Prescott. Javonte Williams is running well too. We don't really see much of Jaden Blue, but besides those three, with Dak Prescott, there isn't really another option. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Commanders have had their woes. I know that Daniels has been hurt and a little bit of a sophomore slump, but Bill Krosky Merritt has helped ease that pain. He's jumped into that running back one role with Eckler hurt. He's looked very good. McLaurin hasn't even played that well, and he's been hurt the last few weeks. Debo a little banged up heading into last week. I think he'll be healthy. We saw guys like Luke McCaffrey get in and Zach Ertz. So he still has weapons, but I don't think that this team's strong enough to contain Dak Prescott. I know that defense has been playing well. And Cliff Kingsbury has the offensive mind to be able to get stuff going, especially against a weak Cowboys defense. I like an over here. I like a lot of points, but I like the Cowboys as home dogs to get the job done and get back in the win column.
I agree. I lean on the Cowboys here. I'm not big on this Commanders team. I think Cowboys being home, divisional matchup. I also think it'll be higher scoring. Cowboys are just playing in shootouts. I'll be on the Cowboys. I also lean on that over. 55 is a
You
very
think
high
Pickens
number.
gets in again?
Yeah, probably him, Ferguson, maybe even Javonte Williams. I've been
The
big on
three of
him
them.
this year.
Yeah, the
So
three of them just do
yeah,
everything.
they're very good. So
Who has more of a
um,
sophomore slump this year, do you think? Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix? I know that they've both been battling through injuries and tough spots and whatnot,
I'd
but
say Jaden Daniels has been more injury related. Bo Nix has just been he was
bad.
struggling to start, but he's looked good the past couple weeks.
Mm.
I mean, Broncos are 4-2.
Yeah, 13-11 win over the Jets,
Yeah,
and they had that nice comeback against the Eagles to get that win a couple weeks
yeah,
ago,
like
which is
that's a huge win.
yeah, on the road in Philadelphia. But I
Yeah,
don't know. Jaden Daniels, I expect to see more. Maybe as he gets a little bit healthier, we'll see it. And against the Cowboys defense that's super leaky. Maybe you see it this week. But those downfield shots haven't been there. Maybe that's the absence of Terry McLaurin having an effect on it too. But I expect them to open up a little bit more. But in a shootout like we both expect, give me the Cowboys at home, especially in Jerry's world.
yeah. Last 4 o'clock game on the slate, Packers at Cardinals. Cardinals getting 6.5 points at home, over under 44.5. Cardinals plus 260. Packers minus 325. I took the Packers minus 13 against the Bengals. I thought they were going to cover. They probably should have. There was a
They
couple
should have.
spots where they kind of just fucked around and couldn't score
Late
points.
Jamar.
Yeah, and then they obviously at the end they kind of just let Jamar Chase do whatever they want. But you will not see me take the Cardinals here in this game.
Definitely not.
More, this is just a no touch because I want to take the Packers plus 6.5, but I could see this be a spot where the Cardinals fuck that spread up. But I'm gonna stay away from this one. This is a no bet for me.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to play. We saw him get that concussion on where he went up for the ball and came back down hard on his head. So if he's not able to go, I don't like any of their options on the outside, whether it be Wilson or Dortch, whoever it be, to carry the load. I know they have Trey McBride, who's an absolute superstar at the tight end position, but they haven't really had a stud running back step in with James Conner. It's been a mix of Zonovan, Bam Knight, Michael Carter, and DeMarcado.
Team's
Nothing I'm
bum.
really, yeah, nothing I'm too strong with. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Packers look for Josh Jacobs to get in the end zone. That might be my parlay leg or Martyr lock of the week. He's been absolute nails since he came over to Green Bay, and he's going to continue his excellence this week after scoring last week. Romeo Dobbs, the connection he has with Jordan Love, too, has looked very strong. Matthew Golden, I think he's going to get going a little bit more, too. And Tucker Kraft, another strong tight end. Green Bay and LaFleur, with the way that Love's playing, they should be able to cover that spread. I don't see the Cardinals being able to keep up with them this week. Tough defense, too. I know they've been
Yeah,
exposed a few times, but that Packers unit's strong with Michael Parsons. They know
yeah,
it.
yeah. I totally agree. And then our Sunday night matchup, Atlanta at San Francisco. The 49ers are the favorite here, -2. Over under 47. Niners -135 on the money line. Falcons +110. We've had so many +110 on the money lines of this slate, but Sunday night football, you're a 49ers guy. Do you think the Falcons can, pick up some momentum? They're now 3-2. 49ers coming off a loss in Tampa Bay. What do we think happens here?
That Falcons team is so Jekyll and Hyde, right? Like they should be so good with the weapons they have. Look at the week that Drake London had last week in the prime time. He really showed us how good he is. He's one of the top receivers in the league, maybe a little bit underrated too. He was uncoverable against the Buffalo Bills, but coming back to back primetime spots is a tough thing to do, in my opinion. Kind of crazy that they're in this spot again. But Bijan Robinson is the best running back in the league. We talk about a lot of guys that are very good, like Jonathan Taylor, but I think that Bijan is the best. He proved that with
I
his
think those
longest.
I think those are the two this year that are the best.
Yeah, and that's his longest run of his career, that 80-yard touchdown he had the other day. He gets it done through the air and on the ground. He truly does everything for them. Kind of shifting to that pistol look has helped him out a ton. But outside of London and Bijan, if you can find a way to contain them because you won't shut them down, then I don't really know what else Penix can do. Yeah, he's finding Kyle Pitts a little bit, but there's no true second receiving target. Ray McLeod not really even playing. Some of those rookie receivers alongside London aren't doing much. But the defensive unit for the Falcons has been something to really watch this year. And it's really about the scheme that they have. They kind of remind me of the Rams of last year, where it's not really a superstar leading the way, although they do have that one linebacker they move throughout the field who's playing very strongly. Um, but they're just playing well. And I think they just got, what's the name, AJ Terrell back as well. And he's been playing some good football too. So that helps on the outside. Meanwhile, this 49ers team, they've been decimated by injuries. They lost Bosa for the year. Now Fred Warner for the year. Kittle might be playing this week, which would be a big lift. Don't know if it's Purdy or Mac Jones. Both are about the same or give you the same amount of production. They're getting some of those receivers back too. I think Ayuk's starting to practice. Jennings, maybe Pearsall, we'll see. Kendrick Bourne stepped up strongly too, and we know how great Christian McCaffrey is. I'm going to take the Niners here in this spot. Being at home is big for me, and I think 2 back-to-back games against strong defenses and strong coach teams is tough for the Falcons. I think being at home last week was a big boost for them, and they were coming off the bye, so they had extra time to prepare for that Bills team, which is trending down and maybe a little bit overrated too. Uh, but I think this is going to be a tight game. It seems like all the Niners wins this year have been. I saw some interesting news. They might trade Juwan Jennings straight up for Kayvon Thibodeau. Don't know if that'll actually go through, but that'd be good for both sides, in my opinion, as they could definitely add another pass rusher and defensive pieces. They keep losing them like flies, but that medical staff for that Niners team, man, they got to figure something out because they can't keep their players on the field.
Yeah, they stay busy over there, but I like the 49ers here as well. On the money line, minus 135 Sunday
We
Night
liked them
Football.
last week too, though, both of us
Yeah,
against the Bucs, and they ended
I
up
took them
laying
plus
them
three and
in.
a half in that game. I thought they were going to cover but lose, but couldn't
It's
get it.
that Baker swag we can't get by.
Yeah. Monday Night Football, another doubleheader, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock Eastern time. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading to Detroit. This is probably the game
Great
of the
game.
week. Bucks at Lions. Lions are 5.5-point favorites, over under 52.5. Lions minus 250, Bucks plus 200. This is a scary game to bet.
Way too
I
many points for the
wait,
Bucs, though. No,
yeah, that has to be too many points, but unless they know something I don't know, the Bucks are kind of injured. Igbuka is questionable. Mike
their
Evans is
defense isn't that
questionable.
great.
Yeah, they have a lot of question marks. Just people are big on this Bucks team and Baker Mayfield right now. I do think the Lions win the game at home in the prime time. They're coming off a loss to the Chiefs. I don't think they lose back-to-back primetime games. This Lions team is good. They started finding their stride. This Bucks team is a Super Bowl contender as well. I'm going to lean on the Lions to get a win. 5.5 points seems like a lot, though. And I think teasing the Bucks is a great opportunity. But I don't love 5.5 as a weird number on any game. But that's why I didn't like it on my Steeler game. But I could definitely see why you're going to take the Bucks plus 5.5.
Yeah, and kind of want to look into that money line a little bit too. Sitting at 5-1, the way Baker Mayfield's playing, he's just willing his team to victories week in and week out. And even though Ibuka, Godwin, Evans, and Irving are all dinged up, he's getting it done with whoever he's throwing the ball to. Maybe they get McMillan back. They have Sterling Shepard. Rashad White stepped into a good role too. Tez Johnson doing backflips, the speedy receiver they drafted. And Baker's just spreading the rock and doing it well. I'm worried about the defensive side of the ball, though. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown goes absolutely nuclear. He's been doing it all year long. The favorite target of Jared Goff for a reason. He gets everything done, catches everything except for that fourth down play against the Chiefs last week, which is pretty pivotal. But outside of that, they've been getting Laporta going too. I think we talked about this last week. That's nice to see for the Lions brass. And then we know how great Montgomery and Gibbs can be. It was pretty cool when Montgomery threw Goff that touchdown to open the game. The illegal shift obviously negated it. But those two running backs, Sonic and Knuckles, look for them both to find the end zone. I think there's a lot of points to this one, don't you?
I would say so. 52.5. Two good offenses. The Bucks, like you said, the defenses aren't anything special for either of these teams as well.
And Baker just matches your score. You go up, you think the game's over. He's like, oh no, we're right back in it, whether it be with a gutsy long run on third or fourth down or whether it be a big throw. He's going to keep it in realm, and it's going to be tight throughout. I like the over here in this one. I might sprinkle on that Buccaneers money line, but look for Baker to stay strong and look for the Lions offense to continue to roll. They got Jamison Williams moving last week too. Maybe see a crazy Tesla touchdown again. He's had a few already this year, but this is going to be a fun one to watch, an offensive shootout between two good teams.
Yeah, I agree. Last game on the slate, Texans at Seahawks, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday Night Football. Texans +3 on the road, over under 41. Seahawks -175. Texans +145. What do you think here for our last game on the Week 7 slate?
I think it's weird that I've seen a lot of people on the Texans here this week. I know that they have high expectations for them. Their defense is very strong, and that's one of the big characteristics. But they're going on the road to play against the 12th man, 10 p.m. Eastern time. So it's 7 p.m. Pacific, late game for us. So we'll be up to like 1, 2 a.m. watching that one. But you can't write off what Sam Darnold's doing this year. Everybody kind of trashed the Seahawks for giving him that contract that he rightfully earned after his year in Minnesota last year, after his bounce back and career resurgence. And he's got the best receiver in the league in JSN. He's absolutely dominating all the receiving stats, uncoverable, long plays, short plays, catch and runs, whatever it may be. They have other weapons like Kupp and Torrey Horton, the rookie, and then their running back game. We know that's strong too with Walker and Charbonnet. So I expect the Seahawks to win this game. I don't think that I've seen enough from CJ Stroud so far. Their run game doesn't shock me with Chubb and Woody Marks there. I don't like Schultz that much at tight end. Nico Collins is great, but besides him, there's no true threat on that offense. And I think the Seahawks are way too much to handle. I think 41's a low total too. I could see this one going over, but I have the Seahawks winning this one here at home this week.
I kind of leaned on the Texans, but I'm not super confident in it. I kind of like your
You're a
idea.
Texans guy, though.
Yeah, but I'm also not huge on the Seahawks team. JSN's very fun, and their defense is good, but tough place to play. I don't know if I'm going to play this one, but
It's going to be loud.
yeah, I like that over 41. That does seem kind of low for this spot, so keep an eye out for that. Obviously, last week me and you went crazy on the card. This weekend, Mackie went
Tough,
crazy in Week 6. Week 7, obviously, stay tuned for all of our picks. HitTheBooks.pod on Instagram. HitTheBooks_pod on Twitter. We have a new top 10 in the world of college football. I'm going to get into that right now real quick, and then our top games on the week or for this weekend, and we'll touch on some MLB before we get out of here. But our top 10 going into Week 8, LSU at 10, Georgia 9, Oregon slides down to 8, Texas Tech at 7, Alabama at 6, Ole Miss 5, Texas A&M 4, Indiana all the way up to 3, Miami 2, and Ohio State at 1. We obviously have some great games this weekend, 5 ranked versus ranked on Saturday. We're going to start things off with an SEC matchup with number 10, LSU going to 17, Vanderbilt. I'm not going to get into any of the spreads on these ones, so just stay tuned to our college football cards on Absolute Fire. I don't know the record off the top of my head, but college football cards have been on fire. Stay tuned for all of our picks on some of these games for Saturday. Just going to go through some of these top games. Like I said, LSU at Vandy, number 5, Ole Miss going to Georgia, number 9, Georgia there, number 11, Tennessee at number 6, Alabama, number 20, USC at number 13, Notre Dame, and then a Big 12 matchup to end things off with number 23, Utah going to number 15, BYU. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think just rattling off the top of my dome. I don't know if you agree with these takes, but I'm going to go with Georgia and Alabama both grab wins this week. I think
both at home. I think so.
Yeah, those are two good teams. They've been fun to watch this year. Those two powerhouses kind of getting right where they should be. I think some of the big news too is we don't have any Penn State, Texas, how far they've slipped out of the college football picture. And what about Penn State? Didn't they just part ways with their coach too?
Yeah, firing James Franklin after I think it was 14 years. That was pretty obviously kind of the writing was on the wall.
Overdue.
They lose. I think it was. They lose to Oregon. They lose to UCLA. That was kind of the crazy one where I was surprised he was still employed by them. And then they go home and lose to Northwestern in a Big Ten matchup. They're in an absolute dumpster fire right now. Drew Aller's out for the season. I don't think that helps the case. But, James Franklin's out of there. They're going to be looking, big fish hunting this offseason up there in Happy Valley. I think they'll get their guy. The rumors are like Signetti, Marcus Freeman, a lot of these big name coaches. Could they go for a guy? Another one that I heard was Joe Brady, the Bills offensive coordinator, and his past with LSU. So Matt Rule, another former Penn State guy. So there's a couple good names in there. We'll have to keep an eye out for Jesse's alma mater and who they're going to be going with as their next head football coach. But before we get out of here, some MLB playoff baseball, the ALCS and NLCS both underway. Games, what is it? Game 3 tonight for the ALCS, game 3 tonight or tomorrow for the NLCS.
They've been
Tonight when
slaughtered
you're
so
listening to
far.
this. Yeah, we're recording on Wednesday. So tonight, Blue Jays, Mariners game 3. Tomorrow's game 3 for Milwaukee, LA. But Seattle leads 2-0. We can kind of touch on this game. Obviously, by the time you're listening to this game will have passed. But Bieber, Kirby, who do you think gets game 3 tonight? Who do you think wins this series and goes on to the World Series?
Yeah, I thought the Blue Jays were going to handle this Mariners team with ease, and it has been the complete opposite. The Blue Jays coming in, their lineup's been strong, but their pitching has been getting demolished this series. And that's a kudos to the Mariners for the bats they brought in over the deadline throughout the years. The big dumper, we obviously know about him. He's had a great season, but guys like Randy Rosarino, they brought in a couple years ago.
Suarez.
Suarez, Naylor. I mean, they just added this team well, and their pitching staff is so deep. I mean, we saw it in that 15-inning game to get to this round. They just kept employing guys like Gilbert and Castillo out of the pen. They still have Miller and Kirby, and they haven't even pitched with Wu, who had one of the best seasons of the year. They have that great closer, Munoz, too. I think that the Blue Jays do win tonight with Bieber on the mound. Kirby hasn't looked like his true self this whole season since coming back from that injury, but I think the Mariners have too much of a jump on them, and that team's so hot. They're playing inspired baseball. They're looking to get to the World Series this year. I don't know if the Blue Jays have an answer for it.
I agree. I think Blue Jays win tonight. I'll take the Mariners in 6.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe 2 wins then. I don't know. I don't see them getting more than 1. I think just 1 win for the Blue Jays tonight.
Yeah, I could see that. Mariners in 5 as soon as it gets game 5 in Seattle. I could see that.
Yeah, it flips over.
And
That
then
place is going to be
the
rocking.
other one, NLCS, game 3 tomorrow back in LA. Dodgers obviously have a 2-0 series lead.
Going as exactly as expected, huh?
Yeah, how fast is this series over? Is it 4? Is it 5? I
5,
guarantee it's 5.
Yeah, I bet you they drop 1. But I mean, what about the performances by Blake Snell? Fully healthy. This staff fully healthy is just impossible to beat, in my opinion. They're on the road to back-to-back. Blake Snell went 8 innings. Then Yamamoto goes 9 innings. You still have Glasnow. You still have Ohtani. You still have Kershaw. Sasaki out of the pen. They have some good bullpen arms. And then, oh yeah, we have 3 MVPs at the plate with a bunch of good hitters all around them. Ohtani's not even hitting the ball that well in the playoffs, but they're putting up some big numbers, and their pitchers are completely dominating. Fresh bullpen the rest of the way, too. Kind of what we expected. Sad to see for the Brewers, who had a very strong year, but it's a must-win game tonight in a tough spot, too. I don't know if maybe they grab 1, but this Dodgers team looks like they're on the road to back-to-back, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to get Seattle versus LA. I think both of these series are over in 5.
That Seattle matchup against the Dodgers, previewing that a little bit if we do get there, will be a fun one to watch because both teams do have good pitching staffs and they have some premier hitters that can kind of carry them. But the way that the Mariners look before this series with the Blue Jays, I don't know if they can keep up with the Dodgers in the run department. And the way that Snell's pitching, man, both of his performances, they've been master classes. Like Mackey said, the best pitcher in the playoffs, best pitcher in the league so far in the postseason here. And then Yamamoto following it up with a 9-inning gem. That's just insane. Like I said, Glasnow and Tanio yet to go. You still got Kirsch coming out of the pen too. It's just a tough hill to climb, and there's a reason that their odds for the World Series have been so low all season long.
Yeah. Stay tuned for any of our plays going out. College football, MLB, NHL, NFL every Thursday, Sunday, Monday. HitTheBooks.pod on Instagram, HitTheBooks_pod on Twitter. That is all I got for you this week. We will catch you on Sunday for our Week 7 live stream, going over our top 5 games on the NFL slate. Other than that, thanks for listening. Steelers football on Thursday. We're going to get a big primetime dub. Ace, your Patriots going to Tennessee on Sunday. Sound off for the people, and then let's get out of here.
Yeah, hoping to get to 5-2 and hold on to that AFC East above those fraudulent Bills. They needed that bye that they have this week. I don't know about that team. Eagles or Bills, who's more of a fraud? We'll see as that comes down the stretch here the next couple weeks. Maybe the Ravens too, but good stuff shaping up in the NFL. A lot of parity. We haven't seen this in a while. Huff, what year are we in right now? Is it Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. No, it's Drake May, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, and Daniel Jones just recreating the script once again. So we love seeing that as old school football fans, kind of bring us back to our childhood days. And like you said, next week we'll get into some more of the NHL. That league's been heating up there. We got our rankings coming out soon. So some good stuff going on in the first week there. And we got some NBA right around the corner as well.